Well, Connor Clegg.
Torliff Murray. Ryan Bergen.
What's up, y'all?
From behind the scenes.
Hello.
Well, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Is this first episode or?
This is a episode.
Okay. Well, I'm Connor. I don't think I've been. This is my first time on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking good, man.
What's our topic today?
The topic.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
What should the fucking topic be? What are you feeling?
Dude, honestly, I feel like we should just Dude, fuck a topic, really. Do we need a topic?
No, not really.
No.
We could talk about whiskey philosophy night and how much of a failure it was last week.
Yeah, so last week it was Friday night, right?
Yeah, it was Friday night.
All right, so a couple days prior to this, Torliff, Christian, and I had a fairly long discussion in the shed over numerous bowls of marijuana about having a whiskey and philosophy night, and it all sounded great on paper, and I think it has potential to be great. However, the only people that showed up was fucking me and Torliff.
Yep, it was just us. We were all dressed up.
It was just David was there for like 30 minutes. David joined us to smoke weed, and that was about it. So basically, me and Torliff conducted our own whiskey and philosophy night. We got into some pretty deep discussions.
Dude, yeah, we went through like 10 questions.
We did go through 10 questions. I'd say it took us about like 45 minutes or so. Honestly, longer because we started out in the shed and we moved into the house.
It was like a good hour.
Yeah, it was like a solid hour or so, I'd say. Anyways, pretty solid time.
But we're gonna try and do it this Friday.
Yeah, so I like that kind of shit because I don't know. I think what happens too often with friends is like you get together, you hang out, but you don't really do things, you know. Especially with people who like smoke pot. I've found that it's like,
we'll do it.
Let's hang out. No, that means no, bro. Let's go smoke weed and fucking sit around and watch like TikTok videos for the next 2.5 hours. So I think it's good for social groups and friends to do these little like rituals. Like we have a presentation night every Saturday. I think that's good.
Karaoke night.
Yes, I like that we have that ritual because it's like I actually look forward to it. Whereas it's like, yeah, I want to hang out with my friends, but it's not really that enticing when we're just gonna go fucking smoke weed and do nothing. But that's my. I think that it's predominantly an issue within like people who use substances is that they kind of use substances as the activity instead of combining the substance with an activity, because I think that's where the best results lie.
No, yeah, for sure. It's like, speaking about like pot and shit, like sativa or indica. It's like, I should do my laundry today, but I'm going to smoke weed before. Why can't you just do your fucking laundry?
Yeah, for real.
Right?
Because I'd be mad as hell the whole time.
Mad that you're folding your own laundry. Yeah.
I have to smoke weed before I do my laundry.
No, yeah, me too. That's the funny shit, though. It goes along with anything. It's like, hey, you want to play a game of pool? Like me and Ryan?
So, yeah, let me take a shot first.
Yeah, let's do a shot, or let's go smoke 2 bowls.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's usually how it is. I mean, which is understandable because you want to do shit like while you're high, because I feel like it makes it better. But at the same time, when you're always doing the same shit high, number one, it makes it so you cannot do them while you're sober, because the whole time you're thinking,
wow,
damn, bro, I should have fucking smoked first, bro. And it decreases the value in it because, I don't know, I remember when I first started smoking, this was when I was like 13 or 14. Either when I just turned 14 or like my later end of when I was 13 or so. But I would only smoke pot on like very far and few occasions. Like it'd normally be
like a weekend.
Hey. Yeah. Or it was more like a monthly thing, really. It was like, oh shit, dude, let's go smoke some pot and go chill in Tanner Park, ride our bikes around. Let's go explore the neighborhood. Let's go geocaching. That's one that I did a lot while I was smoking high. Is go geocaching.
What's geocaching?
Okay, geocaching is actually really cool. So what it is there's a couple different apps for it that you can get. But for the most part, it's just like, I don't know. In the past, I think it was more done with like websites. But what you do is so you get this app, you create an account, and it's basically little like treasure hunts. So people will go around and they'll find random ass spots and they'll like put a little box, and in the box they'll put some like trinkets or whatnot, like some coins, just cheap shit, nothing crazy cool, but odds and ends. And then they'll put a little log in there, a little paper booklet, and a couple pens or so. And usually the boxes are waterproof. But
Okay.
anyways, what you do geocaching is you are assigned like you're given like the general area of where this cache is, and then from that point on, you are given like two hints, one or two hints, and after you just have to use the hints and find out where this treasure, this cache is.
Where the next
Yeah, and you can do a
location
couple
is.
of them, and it's pretty rewarding because like sometimes you'll get stuck on them for a while, or like people will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like I had this one dude. There's a cache right in front of his house, and like this little like you know those little green boxes that they used to like adjust water. I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're like built into it's like a little green or blue lid that's just in the grass, and you can lift it up, and there's
Oh yeah.
So there was one in there, and we're in somebody's like front yard, and there's one just chilling there. It's like kind of on the side of the house, and we open it up, and there's like this big bucket inside of it, just full of shit. We open it, and this guy comes out, and it's me and my friend. We're both like 15. It's at like 10 o'clock at night, and he's like, "The fuck are you guys doing in my yard?" And we both look up at him like deer in the headlights. We're we're geocaching, sir. And he's like, "Geocaching? The fuck's that?"
Just like me.
So
the fuck is geocaching?
So we had to explain it to him, and then afterwards, when we showed him, we're like, "Yeah, so you basically have like a little treasure chest on your property that has been here for like a couple years."
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, that's pretty fucking cool." And we like talked for a little bit, and it ended up being he wasn't as hostile as he first conveyed. But
It's like let me come with you.
yeah, seriously. No, but it's just a treasure hunt, really. I mean, there's a lot cooler places that you can do it besides from like inside of the city. But that's what I used to do a lot to pass the time in the summers.
Have you ever this reminds me. Have you ever heard of what is it called? Randonautica?
Yes, it is similar to that.
Okay.
Not similar. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of gives the same vibe though.
Yeah, Randonautica, I've read a bunch of like weird fucking stories
Yes.
of people just coming across like dead bodies or like people getting shot because they're in fucking like private property or whatever. But basically, yeah, you make an anomaly or whatever,
Yeah.
and basically it's all run off of your intention, which I kind of doubt because it's on your phone.
Well, no, but I actually read I read a little bit about that, and it's apparently like all coding and how it's like a random number generator.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I don't know. I guess the belief behind it is that your thoughts do have some influence on it, which is like why you kind of get some of those weird stories of people being like, "Oh, our intent was death, and we found a dead body," which is probably just a fucking crazy coincidence,
Yeah.
or it's not even real, or it's a hoax. But
Or like fucking staged or some
yeah,
shit. Because like
exactly.
when I was playing around with it with a couple of friends, my intention was death, and we found a severed deer leg.
Oh, damn.
So I don't know. I've only tried it a couple of times though, because they lead you to some sketchy like fucking areas.
I'd be down to try it some more because I enjoy those kind of things, and I'm pretty skeptical of them. But maybe that's something that we might have to do after we smoke, of course.
Of course, yeah. Let's smoke first.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we go to SW Ranch.
Yeah.
We should smoke first.
Yeah. Smoke up first, bros.
Is that shooting?
Huh?
Is that shooting?
Oh, so we're out of work for like a couple days to a week or so, like after this week. So we're gonna try and take a trip over to the SW Ranch and see what's going down over there.
SW Ranch.
Yeah, either that, or I was thinking that we could head over to the military base in Green River and camp over there, because there's some cool shit there that I want to check out. But because I really don't know. So I know that security on the ranch itself is pretty tight, and locals around there, especially since it's like a Navajo reservation right by it, they're not super friendly and welcoming.
Inviting.
Yeah, they're not very inviting. I've heard stories of people being like, not. I mean, there was never like, you wouldn't get like attacked, but people are gonna tell you to fuck off because they don't want some gringos poking around looking for SWs, you know.
Yeah. There's some weird shit that's happened out there. All over Utah, actually.
Utah is a strange place, but that
Mm.
whole area itself is just a hotbed. Like, I don't know. I have family that lives there, and I've spent a lot of time in like the Flaming Gorge, Vernal, Manila area, and out there at night, I don't know. Normally, because I like to go out a lot. Like, I like to backpack, hike, that kind of shit, and I normally don't feel too like concerned when I'm out in the woods by myself, because I'm like, okay, like, either there's gonna be basically the biggest danger that I could come across is like a bear or a mountain lion. A mountain lion is probably gonna fuck off and be more scared of me.
Mm-hmm.
A bear is probably also gonna fuck off, but it still poses a more real danger. But at least with a bear, it's like, you know, you can just accept your death because you're going to die.
Do you ever? Yeah. What is that saying called? It's like, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lie down.
Yeah,
Or something
yeah.
like that. If it's a polar bear, just
You're fucked, bro.
yeah.
You're at the Hogle Zoo, bro.
you
you
ever,
like, turn around the whole. Yeah.
Have you ever like hiked with your guns? Because you own guns.
Yeah.
Because like, if you're hiking in the middle of the night, you want some kind of like protection.
I've
And,
never.
like, a pocket knife versus a mountain lion.
So I've hiked with a gun once, and this was like 3 years ago. I want to say I went out. Oh yeah. So really quickly before I segue into that, so I was, like I was saying, is like normally I don't feel super uneasy in the woods, because like I feel like it's a lot more predictable than like being in the city, for example. Because if you're walking around at Salt Lake in the middle of the night, you can just get it. You could. I mean, I'm a pretty scrawny white boy. I'm not the biggest by any means. I'm not super confident in my ability to fight somebody back. Like, I don't know. I recently had an encounter where some dude tried to run me and my girlfriend off the road, and that shit was scary. Like, I was terrified the whole time. But at least where I'm like out in the woods, it's like, you know, the odds of me coming across a bear are extremely low, and the odds of
low.
that bear killing me and attacking me are even lower than that. So I feel safer. But anytime I've been in that area and walked around at night, I spent the night out there with my cousin. We did a little like survival challenge type thing when we were like 13 or so. We went and built a little fort and like caught some crawdads and fish and cooked them up and spent the night out in Flaming Gorge. And it was fucking scary, because it was quiet. It was so quiet. And normally, I mean, I don't want to say it's like super loud, but like in the Uintas, I'm always hearing like coyotes. Like I've had a fucking pack of coyotes like come into my camp while I've been sleeping, and I was less scared than when I was out in Manti, given I was a lot younger. Or not Manti, Flaming Gorge. But it's just some weird shit over there. It's a hotbed, and I can see why. I mean, there's been documentation back like I think Father Escalante was even reported to have like talked about that area. I don't have any sort of like manuscript, or I can't even remember what he said, but there was I heard it on a podcast somewhere. Maybe it's a podcast or a YouTube video. But yeah, it's but the one time that I did go hiking with a gun, I didn't have to use I mean, I don't think you would most times you hike with a gun. But I just brought like a little 22 Smith & Wesson air light.
That'll do something.
8-shot revolver. I mean, yeah, a lot of people will shit on 22s around, but I think 8 shots of 22 to damn near anything will Swiss cheese you. So it's like, and you can just get shots down on like shots fucking down. You don't have to worry too much about accuracy because there's not too much recoil, so it's a lot easier to keep a
Point and
tighter
shoot.
cluster. Yeah, just point and shoot. It's like fucking CO2 airsoft gun.
Well, that also brings us into freaky experiences, with SW Ranch and weird hiking experiences. Especially SW Ranch, like Utah is loaded with like haunted shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we've talked about this before on Whiskey and Philosophy Night?
Yeah.
Like ghosts and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Have you had like any like memorable ghost paranormal encounters that like really freaked you out or like freaked anyone else out that you know?
So I'm very much the type of person that wants to have these kind of experiences, and I want to believe in this kind of stuff because I find it incredibly interesting.
Or just like something that was like totally
I-
out of place and like unexplainable.
The only thing I can really think of was, so I used to, there's a summer camp that I used to work on. It was like a ranch type deal where you'd go for like 3 weeks out of the summer and you'd help out in the community and like go just, I don't know, basically there's a bunch of old people in that community and we just go help out on different farms and whatnot for like 4 or 5 hours of the day. Then just do regular like summer camp shit. But, so this was in like the middle of Utah, a little bit east, kind of like Manti area or Spring City, if you know where that is. Or
Yep.
Yeah, right in that area. Where coincidentally enough, I actually met a guy. His name's Tor Birmingham. He was one of my counselors. He's fucking crazy, man. He's like 6'6", absolutely jacked.
Damn.
He's
Is
got
he
the
a Green
physique.
Beret?
No. But damn well should be, bro. He's like a woodland firefighter, which is pretty sick.
Respect to the fire department.
For real,
everywhere.
dude.
Do you hear
Undeserved
any
heroes.
songs saying "fuck the fire department"?
Dude, no, because the fire the department isn't fucking people over like that, you know? They're just, their job is purely to fucking protect people and get out.
Yep.
But, yeah, so back to that little summer camp thing. So, there was like this weird, I'm trying to remember what year of camp it was. It was like, it was my second year. So I attended 4 years of that place. Not 4 consecutive years, but so I guess like 12 weeks total. So not that crazy. Like 3 months of my life was spent there, which isn't that long in the grand scheme of things. But when you're a kid and you've never been away from home that long, it feels like forever. So I became very accustomed to this place, and I still am. I love this place with like all my heart, and I plan on going back and hopefully being a counselor there and helping out and giving back the experiences that I was able to have. But there was some weird shit that would go down my second year. So what ended up happening is it was around the second week of camp, and we started hearing every night just these blood-curdling screams. And it didn't sound like a person, but it didn't... It
Sound
was
like a banshee?
It sounded... Yeah, it was like... my first thought was like, oh, it's a fucking mountain lion. And then... But it was not a mountain lion. Like, we listened to YouTube videos of mountain lion screams. I'd heard that mountain lion screams sound like a female screaming. And it sounded almost hollow. Like if you've heard a elk or a deer call, how they have that like bugle to it, where it's like, it sounds kind of like
It's like
yeah. It sounded like that and someone screaming at the same time, but it sounded like, I don't know, the scream sounded in between pitch of like a male and a female scream mixed with some fucking elk scream. And it was scary, and we'd hear it every night around the same time, like right after dark, around 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, because there was a curfew.
Yeah, they put in a curfew. So this happened a couple days, and then they wouldn't really, like, they're pretty hush-hush about it. We're like, kind of like, hey, don't worry about it, just keep doing your shit. And 3 days of that goes by, and we ended up putting in a curfew. And this is the weirdest part about the story is within that week we had like a sheep. There's like a sheep farm right next to it, or bunch of sheep and shit. And they're pretty cool. We'd go fuck with them sometimes. Like they'd all clump together and we'd go run through the middle of them. You feel like Moses parting the Red Sea, and they're all like screaming and it's so loud. You would never understand how loud a herd of sheep can be until you're running in between them and they're all screaming like, like I was gonna make an awful.
I am the good shepherd.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is where it really freaked me out. But we kept finding baby sheep completely intact, except for the fur of their face was torn off. So it's just like the skull, but all the sinews and the muscles were still on the face, and their eyes would be like deflated and like jelly, like it was gross. Ugh. If you've ever, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen like a dead animal, but like anything bigger than like if you've seen a dead deer, you know how their eyes just get all gross, and that's like the biggest thing that like got me is like I remember on Sundays I used to go and I'd walk around and I'd explore the ranch, and I was walking one day, and I went out pretty far. It was I headed north, and I was in probably like the northwest boundary of the ranch, and I was walking and I come across and I see it on the ground, and it's just this little, just a baby lamb, and I like looked down and it just felt like the eyes just fucking pierced me. It was gross. It was, and like right in that moment, like it was middle of the day, but it was like, I swear, there were cicadas, all sorts of cicadas. That was so annoying because the husks would fall everywhere and they're always super loud.
Yeah.
But
they're good luck though.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. But so I walk into this little clearing and where I see this, and I swear the fucking it's all junipers and pines in that area, and so there's just a shitload of like cicadas. Like so many good places for them. It's perfect for them, and they eat like the juniper berries and shit like that. It's a good spot for them. So there were a ton, and it was like deafening at times, the cicadas. But when I stepped in this clearing, it went fucking silent, and it was eerie. And I just had this like overwhelming feeling. Go back to the fucking bunkhouse. Go back. Turn around. And me being the dumbass that I was, I like don't listen to that, and I go poke this little lamb for a little bit, just kind of poke it around, because I'm like, I was like 14 at the time. I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, you're curious.
Yeah, I was curious, but yeah. So I poked it for a little bit, headed back. Rest of the day went by normal, and that's really all there is to the story. Nothing escalated from there. We didn't have anything else happen, but it was pretty fucking creepy. I still to this day don't know what was going on there, and they were very adamant in the fact that we didn't talk about it, and they would wouldn't penalize us, but it was very much like discouraged to talk about it. Like I don't know, when we were hiking, I remember I was trying to bring it up, and he's like, one of my counselors, he pulled me off to the side after we were talking about it for a little bit, and he's like, hey, we're not talking about that, Connor. That's something going on right now, and until we have it all figured out, we're just gonna
keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking weird.
But that's literally the only experience in my life that I've really had that's been
unexplainable.
Crazy. Yeah.
I've had 2 memorable experiences. One of them was in this house, but the first one, when I was living in Park City, and I just moved into the last house before I moved out, and then I went and lived with my dad, and then I moved here, and then I set up all of my shit, and I had bunk beds for like a long time.
Me too.
And there was nothing in the room except for the bunk beds, a TV, and my PlayStation that I set up, just like on the floor.
PS3,
PS4.
PS4. Right.
But I completely empty. The beds were made. I was sleeping on the bottom bunk,
As you
And,
do.
of course, I
He's
used to
gonna
put like
fucking sleep on the top bunk, bro.
I used to put like a drape like around like
Yeah,
the
and
bottom.
it feels like a submarine, bro.
Yeah,
That shit's tight.
and I'd carve shit on the bottom.
Dude, I did the same.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's
But
cool.
before all of that whole routine came in, there was nothing in the room, and everyone was asleep. It was in the middle of the night, and I wake up, and the room is pitch black, and it's super fucking dark, super dark. And I'm under the covers, and I'm like, why did I just wake up? And it's at like 3:15 in like the morning, and I'm just like laying there. I'm like, okay, I'll fall back asleep. And then as I'm like kind of like drifting in there, in the corner of the room, like straight ahead next to my closet, I just hear like like super fucking loud, like a guy did
Like a
it.
gasp.
Yeah,
Okay.
super fucking loud. And I just like freeze. And then I get up with a blanket and a pillow, and I turn the lights on. There's no one in there. There's no one there. And I'm like, yeah, fuck this. So I slept in my bathtub
Dude,
that night.
I'll tell you what, I'd be right in the sheets with my parents that night.
Dude,
I'd be
yeah.
Fucking.
That was fucking
That is
terrifying.
terrifying.
And that was before we even cleaned the house.
Oh yeah, that's pretty scary.
That
Damn.
I will never forget that.
Do you know how
I don't
old
know.
that house was?
It was really new. It was in an HOA, and like
Okay.
everything was like well kempt and everything.
Do you know anything about like the last people who lived there? If there's like anything.
No,
Weird
but
shit.
I mean the neighborhood that the house was in, it was in Pinebrook. And Pinebrook is like there's a lot of shit that goes down in Pinebrook because there's a lot of like burials.
There's a lot of
natives.
history in Park City, especially with like the silver mines and shit. There's a lot of
Yeah.
There's a lot of history.
I stopped going on night walks because I would see people that actually weren't there walking around in the middle of the night. So I stopped taking night walks. So there's that experience. And then the one here, which was actually kind of recent. Like, when did this happen, Ryan? Maybe like,
With the rat or something that was.
yeah, it was with this door. That was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But-
Some shit.
As a witch, I get into a lot of different things, try different things out. Santa Muerte, you seen the statue?
Yes, Santa Muerte.
Got the statue, cleaned it, set her up. It's like, hey, you're welcome here. Let me know that you're here. And one night, when I was still working at IKEA, I worked at fucking IKEA.
Fuck IKEA.
Don't ever work there.
Don't ever work there.
But I come home super, super late. Either my shifts were like 10 to 6 or 2 to 10. And when I'd come home super late, everyone would be asleep already. And, well, I think this one night, no one was home. Everyone was out. But I come home, I come downstairs, and this storage door right here, it's always shut.
Right over there.
Unless we open it to make a shot and pool. And I come downstairs, that door's closed, and one of the bar stools is in front of that door. I go into my room, I change, I go back up, go outside to smoke weed. Of course. And I come back downstairs, and the door is wide fucking open, and the bar stool is like moved maybe like 2 feet away, out of the way. But no one is here.
And how? What was the time frame?
It's probably about 10 minutes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that door was wide open when I came back down here.
And that's I mean, that's strange because, yeah, I don't know. Like, normally when you think about, like, a haunted house, you think of, like, some weird, oh, shit, but, like, or just some, like, tragic backstory. But, I mean, David's grandfather built this house.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, aside from, someone had a stroke, right, and fell and hit their head, but they didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any.
And even before that, before I even like started working with Santa Muerte,
Yeah.
I felt nothing in this house.
Yeah.
I never even had to clean it.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hello.
We have a guest.
We have a guest.
We have a
another
guest.
But yeah, that shit never happened.
That's Santa
until
Muerte.
that night. And then later, you can attest to this, Ryan.
Yeah.
But everyone was in your room upstairs, and I set Santa Muerte's altar
This is weird as
in that guest room, and I always leave that door closed because that's her room.
Yeah.
It's my room I'm like the only one who ever goes in there unless someone's staying with us.
Unless Nevaeh.
Or Nevaeh and Christian are
Unless
fucking in there.
Nevaeh and Christian come and fuck in there. Like, reserve the room for a Saturday
They
night.
reserve it. They like text us about it. They're like Nevaeh will text me and Christian will text you like, "Hey, can I make sure I have that room that night?" And you're like, "Oh, okay." My
But yeah.
room's right next to it too.
Yeah. But no one ever goes in that room. Everyone was in your room. And I think Bjorn and Mazzy were over, but that door was closed, and then Bjorn's like, "Is someone in this room? I keep hearing shit."
And
And
was
then-
like, oh, I thought I heard Tor go in there.
Yeah, you thought I was in there. But then as soon as you said that, I came upstairs. I'm like, "Hey, you want to go smoke?"
Like less than 2 minutes later, I hear him walk up the stairs and like come from the opposite direction of the room, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Like,
no one's in there.
That room. I like.
And then
walked
even
in there,
Bjorn,
no
he
one in there.
walked out and opened the door, and no one was in
I
there.
was like facing my door the entire time, and it was open, and there was no one in that room. And Bjorn was like, "Oh, did someone go in there?" And I was like, "Oh, I think Tor's been in there for like 2 minutes." But like, no, you
Nope.
weren't. You were fucking downstairs. Like it was so weird.
Oh, also, another fucking crazy thing. Santa Muerte, it's known like she likes her candles. She
Yeah.
likes light a lot. She's a Catholic saint. But like one time I come home and usually like when I'd come home really late, I'd go like say hello.
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, it's been all day. What's up?"
Check in.
And then her candles were on. Her candles were lit. And I'm like, "Ryan, did you come in here and light these candles?" And he's like, "Nah."
Dude, you've told me about this.
It's happened a couple times where we're like, "Oh shit, this is some shit."
Or
And it was
just
the first
even,
day
like,
of the month.
Putting candies there and like finding them gone later, or like, I mean, I've had an experience where I filled up a shot glass and I left it there just as like a little offering, and I came back later and it was fucking empty.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
which it easily could have been somebody who's just. But why would anybody do that?
Yeah.
Like,
I've
who's-
told everyone in this house, "Hey, don't touch shit on this altar. You can give her shit, but you ain't getting it back."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those little chocolate
that's kind of
candies,
how it goes.
You
bro.
can't have them.
You can't go fucking wake up on your drunk ass and go wander over to Santa Muerte's fucking pedestal and snack a little candy. You can't do that. That's fucking off the table.
Nope. You'll leave the next morning and
Get in a car crash.
your fucking tire pops. Yeah.
Do you have any ghost stories? Any strange encounters?
Strange encounters.
Ryan, what about you? Should we just get all our strange encounters?
Well, you already talked about one of my like
Yeah,
weirdest
yeah.
fucking one. Like that legitimately was one of like the weirdest things to ever happen to me. Was like just like mentally fucked like with my head, because I like can attest I was staring at that fucking door. Like I was bored as fuck. There were people over and I was in my room just like laying down waiting for someone to come in because I knew it was going to happen. And like and Bjorn walked in and fucking the door was open the whole time, and I thought I heard someone in that fucking room right next to mine. And then like no one was in there. 2 minutes later, no one left that room, but no one was in there 2 minutes later. And I assumed it was Tor. It was one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
We'll never know.
Yeah. And then it's hard for me to do like strange occurrences and shit like that, because there was a good portion of my life where I was like, you know, really fucked up on drugs. So
Oh, yeah.
Strange occurrences.
yeah, I had some strange occurrences with that and everything, and because of that, like, there was a lot of times where like, and because of like my mental disorders and stuff like that, there's part of I kind of if I'm in like a super hyper state, I tend to hallucinate, and it's because of rapid drug use as well as mental disorders just mixing together. And I used to have like breakouts where like I literally thought the fucking, like, I remember this one time I was with a couple of my friends. It was with like Ian and Mason and Hannah Kopish.
Fucking Ian, dude.
And Hannah was like having a fun time with this guy. I don't even remember his fucking name. On like, just like we were like in the woods up in Park City. And I was in the car like freaking the fuck out because I just took like, I was probably on like 2 hours of sleep for that fucking week, some shit like that. I don't even know, but that was when I was like railing Adderall like nothing else, dude. It was fucked. But I fucking thought like the whole car was being swarmed by these like malicious figures in all black, and they were like flying around and everything, and it was literally
The
looked
day the earth stood
like
still.
it was not a Dementor from Harry Potter, but like it was fuck shit. It was such a scary night. I was like in the car like screaming like, no one get the fuck in the car, like no one leave this fucking car, we're not leaving. We sat there for like an hour because of my like drugged out
of your
ass,
hallucinations,
because
dog.
of like bucked hallucinations. And like because of that, like it's weird for me. I can't like say I had any like strange occurrences since like that, because it's hard to tell if like a strange occurrence is literally my like drugged out brain going or if it's like literally something happening. And that was the first time that like something happened that I was like, no. I was sober, dude. I was straight sober.
Most of
I
the
haven't
experiences-
taken drugs like that in a while. Like I knew that was some shit that was like fucked.
Yeah, most of the experiences, I've been sober. That's why it's really fucking weird. It's like, wow, I can actually like think coherently, you know?
Yeah, when you're like sober and that shit's happening, it's kind of like, what the fuck is about to happen? Like, oh no. When you're fucked up and that happens, like it kind of like puts a sense in my brain sometimes where I'm like, okay, I need to sober the fuck up, and like I don't know if it's like my brain or something else going on.
Yeah, bro. So I'm like the complete opposite. When that shit happens, the only thing I can think of is like, man, I should have fucking smoked first before this shit.
Fucking smoke first.
Bring it, yeah. The bring it back home, you know. But well, should we
That was good.
should we end it on that?
We'll end it on that note.
All right.
Do your little outro.
This was the TorMor Podcast. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to finger me and flick my ding dong if you don't want to miss any other future uploads. Signing out.